Guys, welcome back to the Art of Human Maintenance.
Welcome.
Who do we got today?
Today we have Kinzie Oppenhiem, co-founder of Juicy Ladies Organics.
Yes, super excited to have her on the show. She's an amazing woman, just a deep thinker and an amazing entrepreneur. Her and her partner that own Juicy Ladies have come out with some amazing new products, menu items, things that make you salivate. I can't, it's too good.
And a new restaurant.
Yep.
We also get into some wild shit like
Oh my God, say it.
ayahuasca journeys and breast milk ceremonies.
It's an amazing combination.
Let's go. Let's do this.
We're stoked.
You need to just listen now because Ben's pointing at you.
Because I'm pointing at you. And that's because, what do we have? We have a new show sponsor.
Juicy Ladies Organics.
Juicy Ladies is sponsoring
our
us.
First official show sponsor.
We're excited, we're honored, stoked, hungry,
Yes.
ready to eat all the foods.
All the foods, real food.
Real foods.
Okay, watch the episode because
Enjoy.
we're ridiculous. Goodbye.
Yes.
So, Kinzie, welcome to the Art of Human Maintenance.
Thank you.
We're so happy you're here. We're here. We're in your place. I do that every time, too. Like, we came to you. You didn't come to us.
We love
That's
that.
fun.
We love going to people's places and seeing their spaces and being in their environment. And you have such a pretty location here. I love how
Thank
you
you.
did it. So it wasn't always 2 rooms, right? There was a wall here.
You remember.
Yep, we were just the small little juice bar.
in
Hence the name
2000.
Juicy Ladies.
Yes.
My partner actually channeled it, but it was ladies and juice. So Juicy Ladies.
There
Yeah.
you go. It's perfect.
And it was the hit in Topanga. Like I was like, there's a juice bar, and I would like load up my car with people and be like, let's go, there's a juice bar.
Were you up in Topanga at that time?
Not then, but I was dating in
Yeah.
Topanga, which led to me living there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I definitely was out here all the time, and I was the only juice freak that I knew, and I was sharing, not pushing, but sharing, kind of pushing.
I heard this name a lot, Juicy Ladies. You were always doing it.
Yeah.
You were always here.
I was so
Yeah.
stoked because I knew I could trust what I put in my mouth in your restaurant. You know.
Thank you.
I didn't have to think too hard about it. I was like, let's go get some medicine. Like this, you can see I'm excited. This is my job.
She's been stoked about this for a couple weeks now. Since we had it on the
Longer.
books, since
Yeah.
we booked it.
Yeah. I mean, I travel with a juicer. I take it on my motorcycle, cross country. So juice is a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Saved my life in a lot of ways.
How did you two meet? Sorry, I just want that. How did you guys meet?
Through here,
Just being here?
basically.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the short version of it, yeah. I've actually seen you many times and I think had, a hello here and there, but we never really connected until now. I'm grateful that we did.
Yeah. That's the part of Juicy Ladies that I've loved the most over the years is it's the community. We're meeting a lot of like-minded people that kind of congregate together and have discussions and, it's nice. Yeah, we started out as a juice bar with a few raw and vegan items. And then we expanded to a full menu once we took out the wall and added the restaurant space.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a happy time.
It's awesome.
What year did Sunset open? That was
Get closer on this sucker.
2018.
18.
It took us 3 years, though, in building permits, so we should have been open sooner.
Isn't that fun?
Yeah.
Always.
We could call that part of the human condition, too.
God,
All the permitting bullshit.
Permits, inspections, it's like the biggest. I was opening a restaurant in Sherman Oaks, and they made us wait for fire and electric inspections for 8 months. We had to pay rent all that time, so just bled the initial startup capital. It was just a ghost kitchen, so we had very low coming in financially to come in, and that just ruined the whole coming on it. And people weren't. I mean, I don't want to get into all that, but I feel the pain. It's really frustrating. They have you by the balls, so to speak. You have
Yeah.
no choice.
Yeah.
And there's no logic in it, and it's not fair, and it just got to live with it. It sucks.
Yeah. Well, we've had a lease on Ocean Park for a year, and we're still not open, so it's happened every time.
So what you're saying is you were just referring to the new restaurant that's opening soon. Tell us, just elaborate on that for the listeners.
So we're doing Juicy Ladies, but it's going to be our first franchisable version. So it's 1,000 square feet, and it's only our number one sellers.
Very cool.
Nice.
Takeout with an outdoor patio. We've had a lot of people ask us over the years to franchise. And we're not interested in being like a franchise that anyone can buy and, you know, you lose quality and who you are. But we have some really amazing people who have been our customer for many years, and they're one of us. And
Tribe, baby.
yeah. So, and they want to carry on our vision. So we're doing the franchisable version. But in the meantime, it's been interesting how this even started. I was having visions with my friend because I sort of like to do my own type of pharmacy.
Would you consider yourself a biohacker in that sense? Like you're,
Yeah.
taking your health
Yeah.
in your own hands,
Yeah.
basically leading the charge.
Yeah. So we were talking about pharmaceuticals and versus what we do. And the next day I was going out and looking for locations, and I found this. I just drove by and I was like, oh, for rent, that's interesting. And it just happened to be next door to a pharmacy. And my friend was like, well, you can just take the pharmacy over. And
I like your friend.
it's interesting what's unfolded there since we've come in there. Through the construction, we flooded the pharmacy. And then someone came into our location through our construction and did a hole in the wall and stole the drugs out of the pharmacy.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Sounds like a movie.
Yeah, it's been
Jeez.
interesting. We just got our building permit 2 days ago.
Congratulations.
That's
So
amazing.
now we're going to start to build
Okay.
again.
Round 2.
Round 2.
And that process, how long did it take last time?
This is different, though. It's a smaller
Right.
venture. I would think in 3 months, as long as everything goes well with inspections and
All of that. Yeah, that's great.
This one is ours. This is not
Okay.
someone's not taking this as a franchisee.
So you're safe.
We're doing the version so that we know what we're doing if someone takes it and wants to do the franchise.
okay.
It's different than the 2 restaurants. It's not a full menu. It's just the number 1 sellers.
Which
Perfect.
are what? What are your number 1 sellers?
Well, our smoothie and our juice bar. So all the smoothies and juices. But with food, healthy belly bowl, avocado egg sandwich, the burger, the grass-fed burger.
I had that the first time here. It's so good.
Yeah.
Not the sprouted hummus wrap.
The hummus wrap's going to be on the menu. Yes. The falafel wrap.
I just had that tonight.
Yes.
Big
You had the
fan.
falafel?
Oh yeah. I ate it in like 4. I took 2 bites or 2 breaths maybe. I didn't breathe. I
Yeah,
just
I
ate
believe
it.
you.
Vacuumed it in. It was so good. Yeah. My favorite. Have you always been like what did you do before this?
I'm a nutritionist.
Okay.
And we were doing health retreats.
Oh.
And there was always a lot of a discussion of there's nowhere to get any juice or good food to refer people to, clients. And I used to drive to Malibu to Vitamin Barn. But
Oh yeah.
yeah.
And PC green.
But besides that, there was nothing else. So I walked into my partner Magal's office one day and she was like, oh, we're opening a restaurant. I was like, wow, really? And then she was like, yeah, juice bar.
You and she?
Yeah.
We meaning the 2 of you? Excuse
Yeah.
me.
Well,
love
we
it.
were doing this our big vision was we were trying to get this land in Ojai that was like 80 acres with 800 fruit trees, and we wanted to start our vision there, which was Wings of Wisdom, of a place that people can come and do all the things that we were doing in our retreats, but for a very long period of time if you wanted to. Never have been opening a business or running a business. And we started to look for investors for this. And my ex-husband's uncle at the time was a billionaire. I think he was a billionaire. I flew to Canada to ask him to invest in our business. And he sat and smoked one cigarette after the other and blew it in my face and was like, honey, who are you? Like, what business have you done? Why would I invest in you? And he was like, go do a business and come back later.
That's always a fun first. Yeah,
I mean,
I've been there.
it's not bad honestly, not bad advice. Just
Yeah.
go cut your teeth on something and come back. Like I've heard that, I've seen that a million times. Sometimes what comes of that is better than what you would have gotten if you got the immediate.
Yeah.
Yeah,
which
lose all
isn't-
your money and your ass.
Oh, yeah.
In it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually gained a lot because I took them dead serious, you know?
Yeah.
And what I've learned in business since then, I mean, the restaurant business is a really hard business. I have passion in food, but the whole running of a restaurant, you learn a lot about business.
It's the
Yeah.
hard. I think it's the
Yeah.
hardest business there is.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. What's the percentage that amount that fail first year? It's like above
Huge
60 or 70.
percentage.
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah.
My
Really?
daughter she went to culinary school and right at the end was like, oh, I'm not doing this. Nope.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So you work way too hard for your money.
Yeah.
Takes a special kind of patience and unwavering abilities mentally and emotionally to keep going, because it's
Passion.
Yeah,
Well, and on
true
top
passion.
of that, you're up against a lot of additional challenges that you and I are both aware of that we'll point out as organic, and all the standards that the reason you're even open. Mm-hmm. That's got to make it a lot harder in a lot of ways, sourcing or all of the things, right?
And even harder now than it used to be, because there's a lot of things you have to weed through. Mm-hmm. A lot of people are cutting corners because of what's been happening with the economy, and it can be tricky. Yep.
So, are you familiar with Mike Adams, the food ranger?
No.
So he has his own lab where he tests products that are claiming to be all the things that we pay extra money for.
Right.
And he
That's awesome.
calls them out when he finds issues, and like Garden of Life was one of them.
I'm not surprised about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so what happens, I don't know if you know, Ben, but to remain organic, you have to go through ongoing testing. You don't test once and get the certificate. You have to, like, if you're truly an organic product, excuse me, and upholding that standard, and for my understanding, you have to keep testing. And as someone who purchases that level of quantity, I would imagine you have a lot of weeding to do.
I have a very good intuition when it comes to food, and I can somehow see. Like, I got sent a tomato one time, and they're not supposed to be getting any produce from anyone that's doing any GMO. And as soon as I saw it, I knew it was GMO. Mm-hmm. So I work a lot off of intuition.
Awesome.
And what I see. Like, I go and I see the companies, and I know who, especially the farms. But we're so blessed in California. I've been working with some of the same farms for many years, and they're just like amazing.
And I'm sure they love you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need each other.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Is Apricot Lanes one of your farms?
Yeah.
I love that. That's great.
Yeah.
My favorite. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was going to ask. I just thought it was really cool. Like, how do you know when you said you saw the tomato and knew it? Like, what is that knack that you have, or what did you notice that you saw that it was GMO?
I don't know. I don't know if everybody could see it if it was pointed out. It's an energetics that I can see.
Oh.
There is something, though, to the look of a food that's not truly what God intended. Mm-hmm. It's bigger. It's more shiny.
Too colorful.
No, probably
Other way
pale.
around. Other way
More
around,
pale.
Too uniformed in shape. When you cut open a tomato, if it looks weird and whitish on the inside, it's GMO'd.
Yeah.
It's not supposed to look white and
And
have
the taste is
Yeah.
very, very much a tell, too.
yeah.
Food is supposed to, like, make your taste buds dance, You're supposed to have all this flavor, and a lot of people just don't understand that they're missing that in their produce, right?
Oh yeah.
But that's a huge tell, the smell. But the shape is, at first, I agree, like, that's the easiest tell.
Is there any things that you both can share as far as like what people should look out for when they're shopping for their food? Like just things to like, no one's perfect. People in a rush. They come home from work. They want to feel like they're just in and out quick and they don't have patience. But is there a few like food scouting hacks that you can like let us know about so we know what we're looking for when we're in the produce area? I mean, the white thing was cool that you said that if you cut it open, you see that. If you don't, it's cool. I just thought maybe it'd be kind of fun to offer some.
I would say the biggest one is buy from farmers. I really don't buy produce in a grocery store anymore. For me, it's hard to trust where it's coming from. I like to know where my food is coming from, and I think everyone should.
Yeah.
As much as possible.
Yeah, because when you go to the market, like, I don't even trust when it says organic. I don't trust that. I don't trust that it's actually... I think it's just a way to mark up some sales, because who's going to ever track that and find out? I don't know. I don't know if I fully trust it.
Well, we have another thing that we have to watch out for now, and I really see the difference when I'm in Tennessee or Georgia, because it's the law there where it's not here, is they're putting chemicals on the outside of our fruits and vegetables now, and it was apples for many years to preserve them for a very long time, and now it's on even parsley. So in Tennessee and Georgia, they put signs up in the grocery store that is letting you know that it has it. So you have a choice at least whether you want to buy it or not. But here, there's not.
I saw, maybe that's old now, but I was told on like bananas and apples and whatever else, there's a sticker on it. And depending on how the code on that sticker ends, it tells you if it was sprayed or not with like pesticides, whatever else. And if you memorize those codes and know what the last two are, it'll tell you if it's clean or not clean.
Yeah, it's like the first two numbers.
Oh, okay.
It's the 9 or the 4.
Okay, there you go.
But it won't tell you if it has a peel on it. It's called a peel.
But a peel has their own sticker, don't they now?
I haven't seen it
Turn
on.
and run from that.
Yeah.
What is it?
It's called a peel. APEEL, I believe is how it's spelled. Yeah, turn and run from that. But
wait, but why though? What's the? Maybe I missed it. What's the significance of that?
It's a chemical coating that's preserving the vegetables and fruits for, who knows, indefinite. You don't want to eat that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
So in Tennessee, you were saying they have the signage now, and at least you have the choice. What about in Tennessee? Are you finding more actual farms that you can trust?
I found farms. I find farms anywhere I go. It's just there's not as many farms because their growing season is not like California.
Right.
But,
Yeah, you do the best you can.
Yeah.
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 Okay, so you have the new location coming up, and you also... Is that when the introduction of the new products are happening with alignment with opening that space?
No, this is 2 years in the works, and we just are wrapping up right now. It actually started when I had cancer. I started to get downloads from my guides that speak with me, and they started to teach me about the foundation of the human body. Where I was doing the juicing, I was doing the certain vegetable soups and salts and alkalining, but it was really interesting because I was told that we can put a really high vibrational food in our body, but if our foundation is not built correctly, we won't assimilate it and we won't take the nutrients from it that we are supposed to. Meaning most of us, unless we were born into a mother and a father who had extremely healthy emotional and physical bodies, and we're eating all the right things and we're happy and living a really good, joyful life, most of us weren't born into that, and we were born with a foundation that wasn't built correctly, basically. And in it, the beginning of the foundation is the 5 basic elements, and it's our God-given right. It's what was put on the planet for us to have everything firing correctly.
Amen, sister.
Yeah.
Yes.
And there are things that are extremely cheap, easy to access, but people just need to know, so that we have that basis that is the start of the ground of the foundation.
To receive
Right.
the goodness. Yeah.
Right. It's like what's been happening is that people are doing a parasite cleanse or a heavy metal detox, or they're doing a juice cleanse. But what I was shown is it's like putting a 14th floor window on a foundation that's cracked. So it might do a little bit for a minute, but it's not going to do much.
Compared to what it could do.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
People that are really off track, like soda drinkers and fast food and all of that, will see amazing results.
Right.
Because their body is starving of all of this pure energy and goodness.
Right.
But it plateaus. And that's what you're saying. Like it won't go all the way without the proper, just like soil, right? You got to have the proper fertilized ground. Why didn't did you hear that?
No, what happened?
The sound just changed.
Oh, that's weird.
Maybe my ear popped.
I heard it for a minute.
Oh, good.
Did you?
Okay.
Oh, she's not
Jesus,
crazy.
I thought I was.
How did I miss that?
That
That's
mushroom bar is still chasing
okay.
me. That's another story.
That's another story.
Accidental mushroom trip. So yeah, I'm 100%. And this foundation that you're talking about would you consider that part of quantum healing, or is it kind of on the outskirts? They're kind of hand in hand, right?
They're hand in hand.
I just don't know is there a name to the foundation program that you studied? Is it just through a friend or?
No, this might sound kind of weird, but
Tell
I
us.
get channeling from higher dimensional beings. It's a group of 7, and it's from them.
I love it.
Wow.
I love this
Yeah.
shit.
I love how you keep it's
my
a tight
favorite.
statement. Now I want to know more. I want to know all the
Yeah.
things about it.
That's one part of it, but then another part of the foundation program, there's different parts within the foundation, like the 5 basic elements is the soil, and then there's the chakra soups, which is aligning the energy centers, which are foods that are related to the organs in that chakra, but then there's food for thoughts, so affirmations that go with it. But another interesting part of it is my friend's mother unfortunately passed away from a poison that was injected in her. And the night she died, I didn't know she died. I was in Tennessee, and she came to me in the middle of the night, and she was pissed off. And she was saying, you know what? This is my weapons of light. Can you put them out? And she gave me 7 names. And this is the 7 herbal elixirs that go with the foundation program that are...
I have chicken skin. I totally...
Yeah. So that's organ support, which took 2 years to develop because it's not just whipping up a tea. It's very specific. The energetics have to be very specific for whatever organ you're working on.
And
it was
a tincture kind of situation?
well, it's different dried fruits and herbs that we infuse in the sun for several days and in moon cycles, and then we spin them in magnets.
Nice.
And then infuse them with crystals when they're in the sun and the moon.
Amazing.
But
She wants me invited next time.
what's really nice, though, is, there was a lot of fear that's being put out for several years now. And the names for her elixirs were things like enchanted, contentment, liberated, passionate. It's like joyful. It's a good reminder because this is actually the biggest part of healing is to have positivity, not be in fear,
100%.
right?
100%.
Yeah.
You have to believe you're in control. And yeah.
Yeah.
Belief is always half the battle, if not more than half the
It's,
battle.
you know
Yeah.
what? I'm sorry. It's not even belief. It's knowing. There's a difference. You have, and that's kind of something that gets skipped over. No, use the word no. Use intention with your words and no. And there it is.
Yeah.
Because your cells respond to your thoughts.
Yeah.
And bam.
Bam.
Yeah.
There it is.
It's so powerful. I've never felt more aligned in my body and sure of its communication to me than I am right now here at this age, this moment, this day. And I just recently found Timotry. Do you know Timothy? I think it's Creation Farms, but they use all energetic, like tuning forks, and it's the algae and spirulina. I'm eating that by the spoonfuls, feeling the energy in it as I'm putting it in my mouth.
So you're doing it right because what I was shown is the part of the 5 basic elements. If we look at a river, what cleans our rivers is the algae. So it's the same thing with our blood.
Yeah.
That's the way we clean our river.
You need to meet him.
Yeah.
You need to meet him. He's at the Topanga Market every Friday. We'll have a chat with him together.
Yeah.
I love that you tell us more. I love that you just said that.
Yeah.
It's a powerful medicine that he has.
Yeah.
You were saying with the river.
Yeah, well, part of the 5 basic elements is the greens, and the greens are the algae. So that's the cleanse. That's the cleansing part. We need to cleanse our river. And
So chlorella, isn't chlorella sort of the binding part of algae? So like when you go to sleep at night, take chlorella first, and you wake up and then you eliminate. Is that
you can.
true?
You can.
Okay.
That's not the only way to take it, though.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
True. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just learned that particular. I was like, oh, I'm going to start doing that. But the full algae is the pure medicine, and like spirulina, chlorella are versions of, or parts of that whole algae. Correct?
Yeah.
I just learned all this.
Yep.
Look at you.
The breakdown. When I do that, just so you know, I'm exercising brain fog.
Oh.
So when I repeat things like that and I get proud of myself, it's because it's working.
Wow.
So you're seeing it in real time.
Totally.
They'll be like, look at you. I'm like, I did that.
Yeah, no, for real.
Like me remembering your name even is
Wow.
a win after, it's been a little while, but anyway. So after algae, we have the greens.
Yes.
What else is in the greens arena?
Just chlorella and spirulina for the cleanse part of the greens for the river. The most important that I saw as part of the 5 is our electrical wiring, which is salt. We were told for, most of our lives that salt was bad for us until we learned that it was just iodized salt, right? But what we need to know is that it's actually a crucial part. It's like the number 1 important supplement for somebody to take. The right kind of salt.
Are you in the Celtic game, or which salt are you aligning with?
So I'm using a combination of volcanic salt from Hawaii that's red, and then a Himalayan from Pakistan that's black.
I've only seen the pink one.
Is the black one sulfuric? Is
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
Yeah, and then we combined it with a little bit of the real salt, and then a little bit of another pink Himalayan salt.
Okay.
Does the sulfuric, did I say that right? Sulfuric? Does the sulfuric one have more of a smell to it?
Yeah, you can put it on.
Right?
You can put it on like tofu or something, and it'll actually give you the the egg satisfaction.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
you're
wow.
eating eggs.
Interesting.
Like you think you're eating eggs.
I feel like that's gross, but but I get
No, it's pretty cool though. It's
Yeah.
fascinating.
No, that is definitely fascinating.
It's not for everybody for sure, but I think if you get out of your own way, you
Yeah.
can do it for the benefits of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
That's cool.
That's the thing is I like to use a combination of different salts, because you're getting different minerals from the different salts
Different benefits.
And then even if you take a salt that's not ground down, how people take crystals and they hold them next to themselves for aligning energy or feeling good.
Perfect.
It's the same thing with a salt. You take a salt that's not crushed down into a fine and it's still in its crystal form, and you take it internally, and it is realigning your energy center internally by taking it as a crystal.
As a crystal.
Yeah.
Wow, I never knew that. Mm-hmm. I totally align with that.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah. And so when you take that crystal, like let's say you want to take the chlorella or spirulina, you take it with the crystal, you're going to assimilate it 100 times or more better than if you didn't take it with a salt.
So you are getting the amplified benefits of electrolytes.
Right.
That's so important and easy. Like we get it so wrong.
Right.
We get it so wrong, and it's right there in front of us.
Well,
Right.
that's across the board too. I mean,
yeah.
with anything that has to do with
The
anything
American way.
anything we consume.
Yeah.
It's all ass backwards, and anyway.
But doing it like that in crystal form, it just makes it easier. And if you don't like the taste, or, you know what I mean? It just simplifies it.
Yeah.
And we turn things into, we just overdo it. We do too much.
We do too much.
We do too
America.
much. Okay, keep going. I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm in. Let's go.
Yeah.
So we're on
Her legs are
salt.
bouncing around from excitement. It's awesome.
This is my life. I mean,
Yeah.
these are my hacks
Yeah.
that we're learning right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I told you one of the things that we'll ask you, or I mean, we don't have to ask you because you're already telling us, but what are your life hacks? And through people like Kinzie, that's where I'm getting mine. You align with something. If you feel it in your gut, you roll with it. That's your roadmap to life.
Yeah. Yep.
You seem super aligned. Not a lot of people even know what their instincts are. You
Right.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, most are on autopilot.
Yeah.
Well, that food has a lot to do with that.
Huge.
Yeah.
Probably 98% of it.
Yeah, like really, people are overeating, bogged down with a lot of toxins, and you can't be in tune with all that junk, right?
And to top it off, you're falling asleep on your iPad.
Yeah,
All that other noise shaking you up away from your natural rhythms.
Well, I've heard that we've literally through diet, we've literally created ADHD.
Absolutely.
I mean, I have it at a high level, and
Yep.
it's grown like massively across the new generations. Like
'Cause
that.
our food has gotten worse and worse.
sugar.
Our food and technology, those two things are just dancing together in the worst way possible. So it's a little frightening, honestly.
Well, that's why we're here right now. We're trying to help people figure this
Yeah.
shit out, you know, and live feeling happy to be alive, not struggling to feel good every day.
Yeah. Which becomes the norm for a lot of people.
It does.
And they don't even know they don't feel good because they've felt like that their whole life.
Right. And it's scarier to them to try something new because with what they're going through now, it's comfortable. They know they can handle it. And the thing when you start cleaning up your body, you go through detox. And detox is the most uncomfortable thing in the world. It physically hurts because everyone needs to think that through. If you really think it through, you are going to hurt because you're purging stuff that's hurting you.
Yeah.
So don't give up. Keep going.
Yeah.
It's working. That's where people stop. They're like, I can't think. I'm shitting. Like whatever. You're like, good. It's working. keep going. You're on it. It's going to get better. It's going to get way better.
Right.
What's the number one thing that both of you, it's a question from both of you, that you notice being as conscious as you are, both of you, about what you put in your body, what products you sell, what products you buy, how you operate through your daily life? What is a few things you notice that really distract you? I don't want to use the word upset you, but by just the surrounding society around you. People you just see out in the everyday. What are some things you notice that you just wish they would notice? Things that you are conscious to that others are just simply not. And if you could tell them anything, what would that be?
Wake up.
Yeah. How so?
Well, the word consciousness, period, is it for me.
Yeah.
Are you aware of your energy in this space?
Yeah.
And then with that comes loving yourself. You know, it's a trickle effect. We're not, like, our medical system has us broken down into parts, but we're a whole. So why would you see 10 different doctors and none of them know you? None of them know your lifestyle choices, your food choices, your exercise habits, your living conditions, your relationship situations. The energetic impact in your life is who you are walking around on this planet. So consciousness, I think, really, in a nutshell.
That is the number one thing.
Well, it all boils down to self-love.
Yeah.
If everyone would just learn how to love themselves, we wouldn't be seeing any of that.
Yeah.
Along with education and learning, because a lot of people still don't know.
I mean,
also,
once you start looking inward, though, to love yourself, all of that comes with it. That's the good news.
yeah.
You'll eventually find it. You'll get your, there was a woman at the market on Friday. We were looking at teas, just, we don't really know. We'd seen each other. We don't really know each other. And we were looking at teas, and beautiful. The pack, like, everything was gorgeous. And I asked what the price was, and the man said, like $50 for this jar of tea. And she was outraged. She was like, the last time I bought it, it was, 40. And she's like, and that was expensive for tea. And she's like, but that was a gift. I can justify giving a gift for $40. And I was like, hang on a second here. You don't deserve a $40 bottle of tea because it's, like, why not?
Mm-hmm.
That's where,
Yeah.
and the guy that running, he was like, she's got a point. I mean,
Yeah.
you're the gift. You're the gift. Love yourself as though you would love everybody else. Everyone always says that. I'll do it for you, but I can't justify that for me. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We normalize that culture
Yeah.
to not do right for yourself. We normalize it. We'll do right by others. We'll spend fortune on our friends and family, but it comes to yourself, you like that attitude. What is that? What is that? What is that? What is that for yourself? It's normalized.
Yeah.
It's sad.
Yeah. It's like ingrained in us. Okay, so we have to go back to.
Go back.
We,
Do it.
we were at salt, and I don't think we moved past salt.
Yes. And then we have fat, which is our lubrication.
Yes.
So all of the arthritises, rheumatoid arthritis, muscle aches, joint problems. I was shown like a wheel on a bike that's squeaky, and you know how you add the oil to it? It's the same thing with the human body. Again, we were taught don't have fat, and then we were all moved by the masses to these extremely unhealthy, chemicalized, man-made fats for many years.
Seed oils and such.
Right, or margarines.
Yeah.
So when you take fats on an empty stomach, it acts as that lubricant
Right.
for not just the bones, joints, tissues, but also your eyes, your hair, your skin.
It's good for leg cramps too.
Yeah.
People need to know.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, like a really good quality olive oil on an empty stomach and also a bison tallow. Just take little scoops of it, not with food, without food. It acts differently when it's with a food.
Are there any companies that sell these things that you can recommend?
The tallow?
Any of the things you just mentioned?
The North Star, we get our bison tallow from North Star Bison. It's a farm in the Midwest.
Cool.
Yeah. And then the olive oil, I just got a new little farm from Spain.
What's their name?
Olive oil.
Okay.
What's a fun name?
I have a family friend that owns a farm in Spain. I'm going to bring you a bottle of it. I think you'll love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love good olive oil. Is like nothing better.
The way to tell a good olive oil is you put a little bit in your mouth, and when you swallow it, if you have a little burn on the back of your throat, that's know it's a good olive oil.
Yeah. So that the thing that most people are like,
What is that burn? What is it?
That's
It's the oleic acids that are haven't been destroyed.
Oh.
The acid part of the olive oil.
and it also, if it's still live in that way, if it's not in a dark bottle, if it's in a clear bottle and it's seeing sunlight or daylight, it doesn't preserve it. It needs to be in a dark bottle.
Yeah.
So if somebody's telling you something about some olive oil that you're buying and you're like, it's not in a dark bottle, like I'll pass. You know what I mean? Like it's a cheat.
Good to know. That's a really good hack.
Yeah.
And if you're not using it right away, put it in the refrigerator.
Olive oil?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
It's always by my stove. I have no idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't want to keep a bottle of olive oil if it's in a dark bottle for more than 30 days. If you keep it in the refrigerator, it can last longer. But if you're taking it on an empty stomach and you're using it like that, it would go out before that anyways.
Wait. Let's back up. Are you suggesting that it should not be in a dark bottle?
It should.
It should, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So what are your thoughts on olive oil versus like an avocado oil?
They're very, very different.
Very different.
Yeah. For cooking.
I never connected to the avocado oil personally. It's definitely a better option than the seed oils that people are using because it can be used at a higher heat.
Right.
I still don't connect to it. I personally like raw butters, ghee, tallows, olive oil for lower cooking or for, foods that are not cooked. But that being said, avocado oil is still a better option than
canola oil or whatever.
For sure.
The worst one.
Yeah.
And coconut, I feel aligned with. I don't know if you do.
Coconut oil? But it's such a bummer because things, something that's really good gets tainted because people take it and they start cutting it with lesser desirable oils because I watched the coconut oil process being made in Thailand, and it's a process, and then it becomes popular, and a lot of people want it, and just to get it out faster and in bigger quantities, people are cheating.
Yeah.
And so that's another thing that happened with us is we got our coconut oil in that we had used for years, and my business partner is also, she can see things intuitively, and she said that's cut with another oil, and it was the first time we understood that they're cutting coconut oil with other oils, so you got to be careful.
Is that just to save money and bigger margins for them? Is that what that is?
Yeah, it's all money and greed.
Of course. How nice.
I need to be in a room with both of you at the same time.
Who?
Magal.
Her partner,
Yeah, just knowing, sitting and learning you right now, and you talking about her, like, oh, we're 3 peas in a pod. Yeah. I found my people.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Most people in my world won't go this far into it. Not most. Yeah. They start glazing over. Yeah. No, there's a couple. There's a couple that are like, way deeper than I am, and I learn from them, and I'm grateful for them. But yeah. Anyway. So, okay, you're right. Coconut oil has been bastardized for sure. But do you still believe in it if you can find
Yes,
good?
absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. It's actually really good for cleaning out the bowels too. If you
Yeah.
have a really good quality one and you take a spoonful, yeah.
Castor oil
Yeah.
is good for that too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Also the algae.
Is it good? I've heard it's good to put like a tablespoon of it like in your coffee.
Yeah.
Mix it in.
Of coconut or castor?
The coconut.
Coconut.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, any of the oils that we're talking about that are good. Although I don't, with olive oil, I think it's more powerful if you don't heat it, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So that one I wouldn't put in my coffee, but
We use ghee here
Yeah.
in some coffees, yeah.
Yeah. I heard. I haven't done it. I know ghee's. So what exactly is ghee?
It's fermented butter. It's the part that rises to the top.
Got it.
So it's like really flourishing with more probiotics than the rest of the butter.
I saw these
Yeah.
guys on YouTube like making their own, like taking ghee, but ghee as like the base, and then like adding in their favorite like herbs and whatever else, and like making their own like spread from it, and then putting it on their steaks or their chicken or whatever else, and then it's like a flavor that smells good because I've heard it up front. It's a little bit like, whoa, what is this? Yeah, it throws you off
Yeah.
a little bit. Yeah.
so out of those, well, just let's hang on oil for a second. Out of the ones that we've just discussed, is there one that you recommend for skin?
That's actually something I'm diving into now. I've been making skincare for many years because I actually did nutritional skincare many years ago before I opened Juicy.
It shows all over your face, by the way.
Yeah, I
Thank
said
you.
Like,
earlier
you look
when
amazing.
we were setting up cameras. I'm like, her skin looks amazing.
Yeah.
And it's
No,
like-
when you walked
yeah.
in, I was like, she's fucking glowing, man.
Yeah.
I got to step my game up. Seriously.
So I learn a lot through my spirit guides. And they woke me up one night and told me make a mixture of black seed oil,
Oh,
grapeseed oil with castor oil and a little olive oil. So I did, and it just feels right.
and here's her shiny, beautiful, not shiny in the wrong ways.
I need a bottle of that. Hook me up
Your
immediately.
vibrant skin.
The hell?
Yeah, your
Thank
skin
you.
is flawless.
Buying a package.
So, okay, we went into the fats. Did we cover all of them?
Nope. There's two more. So our protection, we were given amazing super berries. Part of the hunter-gatherer food, right? This was an interesting one for me to learn from. Before I saw the 5 basic elements, my dad got extremely sick. Not knowing what it was, they were checking the bacteria in his stomach and couldn't figure out what was going on. And my business partner, Magal, channeled that he had a mold. And at the same time, he had SIBO, which is a bacteria in the gut that can be very dangerous.
Very dangerous, yeah.
SIBO?
SIBO.
Okay.
And he lives in Washington State, where it is very moldy, and he's been in the same house for 45 years.
That's where I'm from.
Me
yeah.
too.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
That's right.
So she channeled that his protocol was wild grown berries, but pounds of them every single day. And he did that for 3 months. So I flew up to Seattle, and thank God it was berry season.
Of course it was.
But-
amazing.
I had a connection there, like there's a lot of mold that grows in rainy places, right? But then look at what is put in those exact places. I grew up with berries
Everywhere.
And there's
cool.
many different kinds of berries. So the berries that we're using for the protection, we need protection from environmental pollution and everything else that we're being bombarded with. So berries is our most effective protection.
Was there specific?
And so we're using sea buckthorn berry, lingonberry, black currant, which is it's a berry, but it's not doesn't grow the same as some other berries. Wild blackberries. What else are we using? cranberry,
Nice. Wild blueberry?
and blueberry. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So why is it that we can only find wild blueberries frozen? Organic wild blueberries.
Washington State is one of the big, like my mom's house that she lived on most of my life, her growing up, was on a blueberry farm.
The wild blueberry,
Wild
the little
blueberries.
tiny ones?
Yeah. But as you go higher up into the Cascadian Mountains, the more wild blueberries and the more wild berries there are.
Oh, that's ding, ding, ding.
Ding,
That's,
ding, ding.
Yeah.
Cascadia is one of the brands, isn't it, that
Yes.
sells them? Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. See how I did that?
See, look at
Did all
you.
that brain work?
But of course, berries are seasonal, so
Yeah.
you know, yeah.
Do you believe in eating seasonal? Does that
Yes.
affect what your
Yes.
program is? So do you shut down berries at a certain time?
No, because we're taking the berries and we're freeze drying them, which keeps the nutrients intact really well.
So as long as you're getting the nutrients, then you can still eat them out of season. Great.
So you take a berry that's picked in season, and it's still okay to eat a frozen berry.
Totally, yeah.
It's better than not having it, and freeze dry it. You can freeze dry them.
Yeah. And that's the best way, not just freeze, because then they still expire.
Yeah,
They get burned.
Burned.
Burnt.
Burned.
Burned.
yeah.
What is your, I mean, obviously it's just your interest, so it brings you education, information, but what is like your process for learning and researching this stuff? Like you are obviously a wealth of knowledge and all things that you're speaking about. And what draws you to it, and what are you using to get your information? Like,
It's interesting because I think that when we have a purpose in life, we are brought the challenges to experience ourselves. So I've experienced a lot myself.
I love how you said that.
yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can relate to that.
Starting even way back before I opened the restaurant, I had extremely debilitating, almost TMJ,
What's
where
TMJ?
it's like where your jaw tightens,
Oh.
and I had to wear mouth guards and
Like as a teenager, kind of?
yeah.
TMJ, like too
But
much.
then as
jaw.
a young adult, I was told to go tell 3 people that I never told what I needed to say to them and tell them, and I never had TMJ again.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's your release.
I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
you know, you clench your teeth
Oh,
when you're
yeah.
stressing. That
Right.
makes total sense.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
There's that intensity, the TMJ. 1 second, should we check the camera?
I was just gonna say, you guys keep
Yeah.
going, and I'll check.
Yeah, okay. So, TMJ, so after you were going into, after TMJ as a teenager, then you were starting to say something.
Well, I would get like different vaginal infections, and I would figure out myself how to take care of it.
How did you know to trust yourself? Like you were just, did you grow up in tune? Is someone in your family really?
Well, I grew up with
Conscious?
my dad, who we always had gardens, and he told me my whole life that I am what I eat.
Oh, you're so lucky. That's awesome.
So, and I had a household where we didn't get the sodas and the terrible cereals, Fruit Loops and Cheerios and all that kind of stuff. Of course, I would run out to my friend's house and get whatever I could.
Of course.
But I think just when I was 14, I saw the first E. coli breakout on the news from Jack in the Box.
That's a sobering moment.
Yeah. And all the clips that they were showing, that they were scooping up the feces in with the
God.
meat. And so I just started to figure out on my own how not to ever get that kind of food.
Because you went vegetarian and vegan at one point, right?
I did
Yeah.
when I was a teenager. From that point, yeah.
What age exactly were you in that point?
14.
Wow. I have the wherewithal at 14 years old.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I remember as a teenager, anytime we would go to McDonald's, I wouldn't eat anything unless I drown it in ketchup.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
And I know that's because I knew what it was, but I didn't know. There was one point in my life that I thought maybe that just meant I don't eat meat. Like I don't, once I understood that, and I did go without meat for decades. Even when I had Chloe, I was a vegetarian. Anyway, yeah, I'm just aligning with what you're saying. I connected to that for sure.
I said the wherewithal to know because I watched, I think I told you before, I watched this video. They did an experiment. There was a chef that came in and brought a bunch of kids in between like 9 and 15, 17 years old, something like that pocket. And they're all watching this chef cook. And he was telling them, okay, this is the meat that we get from a, great healthy animal. And this is what we send out to restaurants for like steaks or burgers or chicken or whatever else it might be. And then this one is the scraps. And he said it to their face. This is the scraps of that animal. The trash they throw away, we take that trash and we make your chicken nuggets and we make your burgers. And he made it right in front of them and they went right for the nuggets and ate everything right in front of them. And it was like, holy shit. Like, so I'm saying I was impressed that you had that mindset at that age. Like, nope, like you just cut it right out. And you too. Like that's amazing. And it's so uncommon.
Well, I wasn't as clear as she was,
but still,
for sure. But
yeah, you still had your
but
your
I
head
can
on.
look back now and understand my body was telling me something.
Yeah,
I think it's my life work, it's my purpose. And I think when you have that, you just have this innate knowing somehow, even when you're young.
For sure.
Right?
Yep.
Like, I went through a drug phase when I was very young, and people used to joke with me, like, you'll take that drug, but you won't put any food in your mouth that's not organic.
Right.
You know?
You're like, fuck yeah, I will. For now.
yeah, wow.
Yeah. I've been there too.
And then just the diving in, Of course, we didn't have the internet the way we have now back then, but we had books.
Yeah.
I'd read a lot of books.
Yeah.
Herb books.
Your guiding light, I think, is just immense curiosity. Is what leads you. You're just hungry for the knowledge, understanding how it all works. It's huge.
One of the podcasts we just did, 2 words that stick out still right now were practice curiosity. Like I feel like that needs to be said more. You know?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It really does lead you to things that you are attracting.
And that goes for everything, not just nutrition, but worldwide, everything. Be curious.
Yeah, question.
Yeah, be curious. Exactly.
Yeah.
Not without going too far, but I think across the board, it should always be curiosity. Digging down, digging in, learning, keep digging.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think of a dog like trying to find a bone or putting a bone away and it's like going at it, like that. Where you see the mud flying behind him, the dust flying. That level, just always dig, always learn, always look, always, yeah.
That's the work being done.
Yeah.
Flipping the shit behind you.
Exactly.
Ding, ding.
Yeah.
So the last one is our primal probiotics, our gut biome,
Oh yeah.
our soil,
Yeah.
which was interesting for me to learn. Also, we go back to the indigenous animals, which one of them was the longhorn sheep. So the last one is raw sheep, kefir, and yogurt combination, but it has to be raw. This is the best probiotic.
Do you mind for people at home, again, I'm the layman translator on this podcast. What is the biome? Because I learned about this over the years, but I never knew there was essentially 2 brains in your body, and I never understood. Can you explain what either the gut microbiome or just the biome in general, what that all means?
It's like our soil in our garden, and it starts in our small intestine. And it's our healthy bacteria, basically.
So when you have a strong biome, you're functioning optimally.
Yes.
It's the core. It's like where everything starts, where all the magic starts.
Right.
Got it.
It's our absorption. If what happens in the small intestine is that we have a little villi, and if the garden if the soil isn't correct, these villi get stuck down. But we need this in order to absorb nutrients.
They need to wiggle.
Right.
Yeah. Life.
So there's the same neurotransmitters there as there are in our brain. So when things are not flourishing correctly in our biome, then our brain gets affected. Hence, depression, anxiety, and many other mental problems, mental imbalances.
Not to go too far off topic every time, but I just thought of it. I find it so sad that we don't make that an absolute mandatory class in school. Mm-hmm. That you have to learn about what causes your body grief or ADHD or depression or anxiety or whatever. Like, the goal should always be a long, healthy life, always, which leads to mental clarity and better choices and better everything. It's a ripple effect. And the fact that we don't teach that by default, and instead we put these horrible meals in our cafeterias and put soda machines here and that, I just don't understand I obviously understand the grand scheme of follow the money, you get your answers, but still, it's disgusting.
Mm-hmm. What's even worse, we don't teach our doctors that.
Right? No, of course. Yeah. Well, I always say,
if you're not going to teach it,
yeah,
when you at birth, basically, at least teach your professionals that are studying something about it, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
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 That's shocking.
So shocking.
I think that's starting to change now,
It
though.
is.
It is. Yeah. It should be an interesting next little bit here.
Mm-hmm.
Are you familiar with Dr. Callie Means?
No.
Or Casey? Sorry, Casey. Callie's her brother. Oh, I'll share that with you.
Yeah.
She does have a book. Her and her brother have a book out right now called Good Energy.
That's the couple on Rogan?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They're incredible.
Yeah, they finally got a big platform to get. She was a surgeon and threw down her scalpel one day after she realized she wasn't curing anybody, helping anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And their mom passed away unexpectedly, like 13 days after a diagnosis, and it just changed everything. And they're on a mission you'll see them all over right now, but they finally got the platform that we need for this, because they're so eloquent in their message, and so there's so much information coming out of her face that you align with it. You're just like, yep, this stuff needs to be said, and it needs to be said in a way people can understand it. And who cares if they're going too fast? Rewind, slow it down, listen again. There's so much in there that it's at least a starting point for major rug shake, like to get that message out. And her brother, I need to actually understand better what his maybe title is. I don't know, but he's sort of the legal side of it all, calling out businesses that are doing shitty things with food or with this and that. But they're both just a wealth of information that is a message that should bring about a good level of consciousness that we're not getting in other places for sure. So
nice.
Yeah, watching their episode, at times they were going, like she said, kind of fast, like me, and they were really, in their voice, their tone and expression was so expressive. It felt like an emergency sometimes, the way they were talking about it, and that's what's really important.
Wow.
You can hear how badly they want to share and reverse things. Like, we got to fix this now. It's all good intention, it's all good energy, and it's like they really can't wait to make a shift. And
the intention is 100% pure, and you can tell, you see it, you feel it. You'll totally.
Wow.
I'm curious to know what your take is on them for sure.
We should send her the episode after.
I'll check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Did we cover all the fats?
Well.
Yep.
And all that? Yeah.
Okay, so that is that rounds out the whole
That's the 5 basic elements.
the 5 basic elements. I love this.
Yeah.
So how are they packaged? Like what are these 5 basic elements? Like what are we looking for?
So we're making a monthly box of just the 5 basic elements, and it's a monthly supply. If you take it every day, you have your 5 basic elements. That's how we're packaging, or we're doing it as part of our foundation program. So you can just come into our refrigerator and grab what you need for
That's
the
cool.
day.
Like in here, they can come in. And That's great.
Yeah.
We'll have to do if you're open to it. We'll do a little follow up episode, like just go over the products and like just show them on camera and like just do a little quick episode on the products
Yeah.
and push it.
I got to really out, if I can just share one thing, because you see
Everything.
miracles, and it's just like, wow. I call it God winks, or it's coming from my friend. She calls it God winks, and now I call it God winks. So my friend's mother, who passed away, who gave me the names of the 7 elixirs, her daughter had been saying for maybe 2 years, oh, I want to make an appointment with you. I want to lose weight. I'm ready. And she never came. So I had just got done formulating the elixirs, and she called me and she said, are you and Juicy? I want to stop by. I'm really ready now. So she came over, and we were sitting on the sofa together and going over, what her plan would be. And I say, just a minute. And I go in the kitchen and I grab elixirs and I say, vibe it out. See which one you need right now. And we both just looked at each other, because I didn't even realize it when I brought it out to her, that she was the first one to ever take the elixir. And it came from her mom, who passed away.
I have chicken skin.
And so she was the first one to do the whole foundation program, which is the elixirs, the 5 basic element, and the chakra soups.
Yeah.
And just watching her few months on it, and just the understanding that she was the very first one to get her mom's weapon of light was
So
super cool.
Powerful.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's
Yeah,
a
I
worthy-
bet that was a teary moment.
Yeah.
I know I would have lost it.
It'd be cool to somehow share that story within the product release in some way, because that's
Yeah.
special.
Yeah.
It's not just like some product coming out. It's like a reason, a story behind it. There's an intention. Again, intention.
Alignment, though, too.
Yeah, alignment.
All those little things that, she's getting the hits on.
Mhm.
That's divine alignment.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's
I'm such a dork. I love this.
it is divine alignment.
It is.
It really
There's
is.
no
Yeah.
other way that wraps it up right
Yeah.
there.
It's cool that you get
can't
to
argue
live
with
in
it.
that space. Like you get to live in that sort of rhythm
Yeah.
of alignment. Like that's so conscious.
Sometimes Magal and I would pinch each other over the years, and we were like, are we living in a movie?
Is this really
Yeah.
happening?
It's amazing. You
It's
get
real.
out what you put in. You know, you're doing awesome stuff.
So you were hosting retreats, and you're still doing nutritional guidance with people currently.
And still doing retreats.
Are you?
Yeah.
Where do you
Awesome.
do 'em?
Last weekend we had one in Joshua Tree.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So you're a traveling situation then. Instead of the big property in Ojai, you do it at different locations instead of one
Yeah.
like home base kind of thing.
Well, Joshua Tree is the home base right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Walk us through what that looks like. What does a retreat look like from start to finish?
It depends. There's different themes on the retreat. This particular one, I'm into plant medicine. Magal, my partner, isn't.
Oh, okay.
So if Magal and I do a retreat together, it's we'll have a theme on what we're working with. So the emotion will go with like if we're doing a liver cleanse, we'll work on frustration and anger emotionally. And it's either 7 days or 3 days, depending on the retreat. And it's a lot emotional, because if you're spiritually off, no matter what you put in your body, it's not going to do what it could do if you're emotionally happy and stable. So a big part of it is emotions.
So that leads into, you've heard me say before, all the research that I've done on healing holistically since first diagnosis of melanoma in 2004 to now, so over 20 years. All the research I've done, the people that heal and don't have recurrence, like really heal, are the ones who figured out the emotional, like why they're sick to begin with, right? That kind of leads into that. Like you can address things, but you really are maybe temporarily addressing it if you're not digging and releasing emotional impacts, traumas. That creates that scar tissue in your body, like emotional scar tissue, right?
Right.
Yeah, so those are the people that really heal, are the ones that understand where they need to release, you know?
Right. Which brings me to another incredible medical doctor. Her name is Dr. Kim Diamo, and her whole work is around recognizing it's a simple practice, a little meditation of recognizing your emotion and then just acknowledging it. This is so powerful because most people want to get rid of it or change it,
Right.
or figure out what to do with it, but it's not about that at all. It's only about acknowledging it. And once we acknowledge it, then it moves out of the system.
That's pretty rad.
Yeah.
So
And-
what, you just write it down and then move on?
You don't even
That
have to
kinda-
write it down. You just have to acknowledge it.
Oh, I like
And that can come in the form of internal acknowledgement or like writing it down or saying it to yourself in the mirror or whatever.
Yeah. Well, I had a really incredible situation with this whole topic. I always had this like stomach ache kind of at the very top of my stomach that would happen if I would get upset. And so I ended up in the hospital in Texas one time with an incredibly horrible pain in my stomach. And they said, we have to take you for a scan. And they came back and they said, you have a twisted duodenum. And I was like, how did that happen? And they were like, well, you either had cancer or you have scar tissue. And I'm like, but I never had cancer in my intestine.
Wait, what's a duodenum?
That's what Kim used to get. It's part of your intestine, correct?
That's right.
Right.
Yeah, Kim used to get that all the time, and she had that
Wow.
surgery.
Right. So I came out of surgery and he was like, well, you don't have cancer and you don't have scar tissue. So we have no idea why that happened. But I had come out of a situation with a boyfriend that I was extremely frustrated. So I started doing that practice of tuning in, asking what my emotion was, sitting, and I got this whole download about my duodenum that started with my dad, and then every man I've ever had in my life's first name started with a D.
Wow.
And then all the emotions that were coming up were disappointment, despair, doubt. So it was this whole thing about duodenum. Started with the
Connection.
dad, went through all the D men, and then all the negative D emotions. And I just started to recognize like all those emotions. And I've never had a stomach ache since.
Oh my God. So
And
wild.
then it ended one time where I started to feel a little something, and I tuned in and I got the deserving.
Oh, switch it to the positive.
A good D.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that's not. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's
incredible.
really
That's-
cool, right?
Those stories always like shock me a little bit when you hear stuff like that. That level of being able to go in and solve things through internal recognition like that. How many years ago was yours? Was your bout with cancer?
6-7 years ago.
Wow.
Oh, that's recent.
Yeah.
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 How'd you find out? What was your?
I knew.
You know.
I knew, but I was ignoring.
She's a shirt that says, I knew.
Yeah,
I know.
I know.
But I was staying the night at Magal's house, and I got out of bed, and she said, "Oh my God, you have cancer. Go do a full body scan."
What?
And yeah,
Oh my god.
Did you
I
let her
didn't-
know we wanted to interview her too?
yeah,
Oh, good.
yeah. So
You'll get to talk to this magic creature soon.
thank God she did that, because I was in the huge ignoring stage. And yeah, she was forcing me to do everything, but I didn't want to hear diagnoses, right? And thank God I have been going to the same doctor for 30 years who is extremely intuitive, and he just knows things. Like, he even told my daughter when she was a little girl how tall she was going to be. She's 5'10", and she was like the shortest girl in school, and she was self-conscious about it, and he was like, "Oh no, you'll be 5'10". So he called me to tell me, and I go, no, stop. I wouldn't let him tell me the whole thing. I didn't
like
want to
that.
know any stages. I didn't want to know anything. And thank God for Magal, because she
That
was,
was really smart.
yeah,
Oh, I love that.
yeah.
You're way ahead of the game by doing that.
What was that clarity that let you just not want to know? Like, what was that certainty? They were like, "No, I want."
Well, I had been working with cancer patients for many years, or
fair,
people who
yeah.
were sick, so I have a background in it, and I know
Right.
just having those implanted in your brain is just negative.
It's
Yeah.
weeds.
Yeah.
Yeah, smart.
I knew why I got it to a certain point. I didn't know exactly, but my business partner was telling me, and she just gave me the steps. She was like, "Okay, now go to ayahuasca so you can really see what you need to do,"
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's
which was
coming
leave my relationship.
That's coming from someone who doesn't do plant medicines like that,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. That's powerful.
Wow.
Yeah. And the alignment of you two being the magic creatures you are is no mistake either. Your vibe attracts your tribe,
Yeah. This is why I'm adamant about the emotions, because I have been an extremely healthy eater for many, many years. Right.
And you still got
But-
sick.
Because of frustration,
Yeah.
deep rooted frustration.
Yeah, stress is
Yeah.
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 It's really stress that starts it, and then we compound it with all the chemicals and
Yeah.
the chemtrails and all the things. Yeah, that's amazing.
With your retreats, is there any kind of filtering you do with people that you allow to apply, or can anyone apply to it, or how does that work? How do your retreats work?
Interesting.
It depends on what retreat it is. We do ones that are, let's say, young women before childbirth, like learning how to truly be a mother. And then, of course, you would talk to people and see, make sure they've never been a mother and they're an appropriate age group. Or we'll take like a group of maybe mental imbalances. That's how I initially got to plant medicine. Is I had a daughter who was diagnosed schizophrenic, but it was cannabis-induced psychosis, which a lot of people are allergic to cannabis. They don't know, but if you have doctors will say a different thing than what I learned in plant medicine. If you're prone to any kind of mental imbalance, marijuana can really throw people into a psychosis. So she was in a mental hospital for almost a year on the East Coast because part of her psychosis was wanting to kill herself. So I needed to keep her safe. And I was just praying. I know there's another way, like witnessing these places, even though I tried to find the best place, is terrifying. The treatments
The whole experience sounds terrifying.
turns people into zombies. So I was just praying, and someone came up to me one day and said, I really think that you should go do what I just did, talking about plant medicine. But so I did, and I went to ayahuasca, and I was shown what schizophrenia is, where it started. Again, it is associated with the gut also. I didn't breastfeed her. I was very, very young and doing a lot of drugs. And so she wasn't born to a tribe. Like, she didn't have those roots, and then not being breastfed. So the first thing I was shown is to give her breast milk and do a breast milk ceremony. And just the results off of that were incredible.
Wow.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
So you sourced breast milk from a bank?
From a friend who had a baby.
Okay. And your daughter was open to it?
Yep.
That's
She
wild.
knew it. At that time, she was better to a certain degree, but she was still afraid of being in Los Angeles. She had a lot of fears about different things. And she was in Colorado, and she was living with this family, and the daughter had just had a baby.
Oh,
And
perfect.
she said that she was like really craving the breast milk. So when I called her and told her, she was like, I've been craving breast milk.
That's so wild.
That
Yeah.
is very wild.
Yeah. Actually, after I got that, I did a little research, and I found a research study from the late 1960s. They took 100 children who were diagnosed schizophrenic, put them on LSD, and every single one of them tried to grab for something to suck on.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, my crystal just jumped out of my hand.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
That's also wild.
Yeah.
Wow.
So how old was she when she was going through this?
It started when she was 20.
And today, how's she doing?
She's doing great. Yeah.
How long was the process?
A few years. Like, I started the process, and then I wanted to bring her also into ayahuasca, but thank God I was working with somebody who worked with like 30 different medicines, and he said, no, you can't take someone who's already very high spiritual and put them on a spirit medicine. You got to bring them down to their heart. We got to put her on heart medicine.
Like grounder.
So that's
you.
what we did. We put her on it every few weeks.
Excuse me, that was a weird sneeze. Apologize. Yeah, it happened.
What a special bond she must have with that family, too,
Yeah.
just through that whole process.
Yeah.
And she's the 30-year-old?
She's 31.
31.
Mm-hmm.
We have some parallel things going
Yeah.
on. It's very cool. So, we talked about the foundational stuff, ayahuasca. But did you cover how you did it? I know that Magal was channeling different things for you with your healing, and ayahuasca was one of them.
Yeah, that was the emotional side.
The emotional, that's right.
Yeah.
And how long do you still journey with that intention of maintaining wellness, or is it like a medicine trip for you? Like you don't do it too often.
No.
Save it for when it's absolutely necessary, when you're digging.
Well, I decided to cut all lineage cords.
Oh,
So I dove really deep.
that's a choice.
Yeah. But I feel like I use an analogy when it comes to plant medicine. We all have an onion, and we have many layers. And so if you want to go down the plant medicine road, you start to peel those layers. And some people, only want to peel a few layers. I wanted to get to the core. So I feel like I got to my core, which was interesting. in and of itself. It took a sexual assault to get me to my core. I was
Wow.
walking. I do the same walk every day, and I was walking with my little dog, and some man said, "Excuse me, ma'am, you have a spider on your back."
Oh my god.
And
Holy
he
shit, those
started to
words.
sexually assault me, and my little dog started to bite at his ankles. And this interesting thing happened, though. I left my body. I couldn't move. And thank God a couple came out of the driveway at some point, and I saw him looking back at me and like puffing up his chest like he did the greatest thing ever.
Oh my God.
But I don't know how it even got to that point where he was away from me. I left my body.
Wow.
And I went home, and I had my son and a cook that works with me and a friend, and I didn't say one word. And this is after years of diving deep emotionally. And I went to the beach, and I had the worst beach experience I've ever had. And I was like, I went home and I had such bad anxiety, and I said, I'm going to take a heart medicine. And I went to past life of where my daughter and I were mother and daughter, and I was the mother, and I was killed by my husband for speaking something that he thought was offensive.
Wow.
And then I jumped to 5 years old, where a cousin molested me, and I never said one word. I like put it in a box and swept it under a rug and never spoke. And so that whole incident, I got to my core
Yeah.
of it all. Like,
And fairly, I mean, I don't know the details of the incident, but is it fair to say it was fairly gently? Because you needed to get there.
right.
Hopefully you weren't hurt.
No, I wasn't hurt.
Okay.
No.
That's what I mean. Like,
No.
So look at that. You got there gently, even though it was abrasive.
Yes.
But you weren't tragically injured, and
No.
and
Thank
it
God.
led you to your ultimate healing.
Right.
That was the universe just going, you're
Yeah.
almost there. Doink. You need that last little.
one little flick. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's powerful.
But that linked the whole deserving thing
Yeah.
that I had gotten years before
Right.
about the deserving. But we have to feel it to heal it. We have to really be in the feeling. So when I was in the feeling of where I lost the deserving,
Wow.
it healed it on a different layer.
Wild.
I think, I've been saying I need to do ayahuasca for a long time.
I
I've
need
never
to do
done
it
it.
too. Yeah, same.
But my daughter at one point wanted us to try it together. And since then, she's like, no, you go first.
How are you on time, by the way?
How am I?
I think it's time to wrap it up, probably. You have a date tonight.
Yeah, I don't know what time it is.
I was just realizing it's 8:42.
Oh wow,
wow.
time flies.
Flies by.
Wow.
I was making sure. I was like, this feels
I
irresponsible.
can't believe this.
I think to wrap it up is, look for real food out there. It's there. You have to diligently find it. And food is your medicine. Your instincts are yours. Your guide to all of that. Tune in, folks.
Tune in.
Amen to that.
Amen to that. All right.
All
Happy
right.
trails,
Happy
everybody.
trails.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you.